mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, wanna die, I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, when you do the fun, done go. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from his works constantly.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Build a wall, no, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Let me go, we'll not let you go. Let me go, we'll not let you go. Let me go. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has the devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stone me and save my life? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out here.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if it's echoing. I don't know if my microphone's picking up. I'm traveling right now, so you guys have to let me know if you can hear me okay. Do I need to bring the microphone closer? I'm going to figure it out as we go. So testing. We'll see if everybody can hear me. I have no idea, but it is a little echoey, so I'll probably just hold the microphone. Let me pull this wire over here. Okay, so tons of people are saying they can't hear me, so that means that they can hear me. But I just saw something very troubling in the chat right here. Jeremy equals my most reliable source for news. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fucked as a society if we have reached a point where I am your most trusted and reliable source for news. we are screwed. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate it. Shout out to the Saskas. Yeah, we are in big trouble. We're in big trouble if that's the case. But we do have a lot going on and a lot to cover. So hopefully the audio is okay. It's also storming where I'm at. So it's just a perfect storm of a disaster right now. But I also want to give a big shout out to my boys, Dan Vask and Eric July, because they just released their brand new song. And holy crap, Glorious Death. You have to watch it. If you have not, I'm going to show you a little bit of it before we get started, because I'm just going to have to show you a tease. I'm just going to show you a tease because, man, it is so good. Let's share this tab right here. Listen to this. This is from Dan Vask and Young Ripa. You got to go over to Dan Vask YouTube channel or the Ripaverse YouTube channel. It is amazing.
I shed not a tear. After all, this is why we are here. Oh, we were not supposed to win. If I'm to die tonight, I'll kill every demon that stands in my side. Go! I stand on the skeletons of every goal. If I'm to die on this very night, I'll kill every demon that stands in our soul. Turning back, such is our path. This day we find the glorious star.
All right, so you got to go over and check out the full version if you guys are interested. But I'm very happy for those guys. It sounds awesome. So shout out to them, man. That is good stuff indeed. Okay, so we have a lot to catch up on with the world. We have the Iran-Israel situation going on that has broken the brains of many people who really have no ability to have any kind of critical thinking whatsoever. They just want you to think as them. And if you don't, then you are paid by Mossad. And then I had people in my replies. As a matter of fact, I would love to pull up this video. Let me see if I can pull this up, because yesterday, I was accused of being an Israeli, paid Israeli spy from people that didn't agree with my opinion. And then I had people in my replies right here. Let's see. If you never knew that Israeli intelligence was called Mossad, then you need to stop talking global politics. I don't care what side you're on. I wonder if I'll just stop talking now because this person told me to stop talking. There's another guy. Let's see. Do the slightest bit of research, and I don't know what Mossad is. Actually came from the same mouth within minutes. So here's the beauty of it. You clowns accused me of being a Mossad agent. And then when you found out I didn't even know what the fuck it was, you claimed that I'm the idiot. You assumed that I was so advanced in my knowledge of Israel that I was a fucking Mossad agent. And then you found out I didn't even know what the fuck it was, and you said I'm too uneducated to talk about it. But I sounded so educated that you thought I was a fucking spy. Who's the idiot? Me saying I don't know what this is, or you accusing someone that doesn't even have enough knowledge on the situation to know what it is to be an undercover spy? I mean, holy fuck, how stupid do you sound? Hey, this retard from Alabama who may have parents that are brother and sister is so advanced in his knowledge that he must be an Israeli spy. And then you found out I'm too stupid to even know what the fuck it is. And now you're mad that I'm talking about it, but you accused me of being so advanced. It's amazing. So, Unfucking believable. But ultimately, yes, I did have to Google what Mossad was. I had no idea. I've said for years, I've never followed the Israel bullshit, but people talk about it so much and they're so overly obsessed by it to the point where they think I'm being paid. And that's where I question everything I hear from that crowd, because like I saw the other day, someone says, well, what do the Iranians think about it? And this person was obviously an anti-Israel person. And then I saw where Patrick Bet David was talking about it, who is Iranian. And when they didn't agree with what Patrick Bet David was saying, they accused Patrick Bet David of being an Israeli agent. But it's like, you asked what an Iranian thinks. The Iranian gives you his opinion. You didn't like his opinion, so therefore he's paid by them too. I can't take these people seriously at all. They're absolutely fucking retarded. Now, with that said, I do think that there were some interesting discussions to be had on this topic. And I actually tweeted this out yesterday, 17 hours ago, that this take from Matt Gaetz, I thought was a fantastic take, because Matt Gaetz is operating with a level head. He's being very calm and he's having a fair take on it. And if you actually listen to everything that Matt Gaetz is saying right here, I have no problem with anything Matt Gaetz is saying. So let's listen to what Matt Gaetz actually says about the situation, because I think it's very interesting to say the least.
Israel didn't kick their regime change habit with Iraq or Libya or Syria, it seems. They need another fix. But Matt, this isn't a regime change war. It's about Iran's nuclear program. I wish that were true, but it's not. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene opined that maybe Netanyahu is so feisty about regime change in Iran because he was facing regime change in Israel.
So we're finding out that Netflix Yahoo, prior to this situation that he created, was facing some very, very bad poll numbers and a potential regime change of his own. No way to get a distraction like starting a war.
It's not being reported enough that on Thursday, they held a vote in the Knesset, and it was only by 2 votes that Netanyahu won. If he had lost, they would have had.
Someone says, now you're catching on. I hate when people say that. Somebody said that to me earlier on Twitter. No, I'm not. I'm not catching on to anything. Don't think that I'm on your side. I'm not. So right here, I had somebody said this earlier, because I said, I don't disagree. I trust President Trump. I don't trust Netflix Yahoo. For once, you're starting to slowly wake up. You're starting to slowly wake up, Jeremy. So I said, fuck off. No, I'm not. Like, I'm not waking up to anything. I'm not going to be your ally or your friend. I'm not going to be your cool friend now. You're retarded. I mean, the fact that these people think that I am an Israeli asset, yet I've shouted out Nick Fuentes on this show multiple times because his clip channels have clipped me out and posted it and says, dude, Jeremy complimented Fuentes. Jeremy gave a shout out to Fuentes. That's something an Israeli agent would do right there, isn't it? Oh yeah. These people are fucking retarded, dude. I don't care about retarded people. I don't care what you think. I'm not here to convince you that I'm right. I'm here to let you know that I think you're retarded. It's that simple.
Another election in Israel, and the polling shows that he would lose if an election were to occur today. That vote happened last Thursday. And then Friday, Israel attacked Iran. That's why the bombs are falling. And it seems very political.
My mic sounds
Here's
hot.
how you know
Let me turn it down
this
some.
isn't about Iran's nuclear program. We aren't taking these steps to force denuclearization where the threat is higher and the leaders are even crazier. Take North Korea. North Korea's nuclear program is a far greater threat to the United States than Iran's. It is not even close. I know. I've had the briefings. I was on the House Armed Services Committee for 8 years. Iran has neither the bomb, the delivery system, nor the re-entry vehicle that you would need for any intercontinental ballistic missile to launch and re-enter orbit. North Korea has all three. North Korea could launch a nuclear weapon at mainland United States today. And we've probably got the ability to knock it out of the sky, but Iran can't even get their bird in the air. Iran's death to America chant isn't really my bag, obviously, but Kim in the Hermit Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, Iran, like saying death to America. I saw someone say yesterday in my replies, they were like, Jeremy, Iran is saying death to America. We have to deal with this. And I'm thinking, we literally just had people in our own country saying the same thing in the state of California. I'm a little more concerned with the state of California and the fact that we have an invasion in California than a country that's always going to hate us anyway. That's what I'm a little more concerned with.
Points to U.S. cities like Los Angeles and San Diego and Seattle on maps, and he openly discusses wiping off major U.S. population centers from existence. Of course, we aren't looking to drop 100 bunker busters in the mountains of North Korea. President Trump took other brilliant diplomatic steps to constrain North Korea's hostilities. And the same could be done with Iran. But Matt, Iran has kicked out IAEA inspectors. There could be portions of their nuclear program that are secret. A nuclear secret in the Middle East. How about it? If the world is interested in a secret nuclear program in the Middle East, there is a country that won't allow any international inspectors. Israel.
Ooh.
Israel has a nuclear weapon.
Now, again, these are things that I don't really like. Previously, it's not something that I ever really cared about. But it opens the question of right here. I responded to Scott McKenzie, longtime follower of the channel. Shout out to Scott. He's a great guy. So right here, he's talking about my tweet where I said, this is the best take I've heard on the situation. And I said, Israel can do whatever they want, but their mall kiosk prime minister is begging America to get involved with their conflict. We have the right to ask questions, and that's exactly what we're doing. He should have kept America out of it. Now he has to deal with the consequences of America asking questions about him and his motivations. And that is ultimately what this comes down to. When you, a foreign prime minister, start to advocate to the American people and speaking directly to the American people and telling them how today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow could be New York, I think then Americans are going to go, well, what's going on with your nuclear program? If you're so worried about Iran, what about you? These are just questions that when you are telling us that we have to send our resources to go to your country and help with your conflict that you created, these are fair questions to ask.
Weapon. Did you know that? I do. They allow no inspections. They are fully secretive and claim.
Sean says, this guy said he doesn't care about Israel, but then talks about Israel and does back-to-back streams L. Sean, you're watching. That means you've watched multiple streams now. If it's an L, why are you watching? Secondly, I don't care about Israel. I care about America, and I care about the decision that President Trump is going to make about involving the United States of America. Because, Sean, I voted for President Trump based on no new wars, no forever wars. My president is currently weighing the options to get involved with Israel. So because Israel has decided to involve my country, I have to be concerned about it. I know that's probably a little too complex for you to understand, but that's the reality of the situation right there. Go fuck yourself.
Clandestine about it. And the Americans are fully aware. You know what? I don't even blame Israel for this. If they want to develop a nuclear weapon, if they had the blessing to do so secretly, I'm not in judgment of that. But to drag the world into a regime change war over secret nuclear weapons, when you have secret nuclear weapons, is a bit hypocritical. President Trump is the kind of guy who never gives up on a deal. Throughout his life, he's probably made deals and made lots of money on them, even when others walked away or didn't see value in a transaction. So here's the deal. How about Iran and Israel both give up their secret nuclear weapon programs? If Trump got that deal, he wouldn't only get the Nobel Peace Prize, they'd probably name it the Trump Peace Prize forevermore. And it's not that crazy to think about Israel denuclearizing. Look at the model in South Africa. South Africa denuclearized right before.
So again, let's be clear. Like from I've had to do a deep dive on a lot of this stuff recently, and so obviously the idea of Iran having nuclear weapons is not good for anyone. We know that. We that's just kind of a given. So I don't think anyone's in support of Iran having them. But Israel decided to start this conflict and directly attack them the day after the 60-day window ended. Now, was President Trump involved in that or not? I have no idea. I would like to hope he wasn't, but I think common sense would tell you that he probably was. As much as I'm a fan of Trump and I would like to believe that he's not involved in this, I don't feel that Israel does that without President Trump's approval. But that is a question that we don't know the answer to for sure. But if I was a betting man, I would say Trump absolutely knew what was going on and approved what was going on because of the way he's carried himself over and over again with different world leaders. So now that we are here and we are having the prime minister of Israel constantly begging us to get involved, but then backtracking now and saying, well, we actually can handle it ourselves. None of this makes sense.
They stopped being an apartheid state. Prominent voices in Israel and America have called for Trump to recognize Israel's sovereignty over Judea and Samaria, which some people call the West Bank. If that happens, Israel will have to let the 5 to 6 million people who live there vote. And they don't want to do that. I'm not calling Israel an apartheid state. Right now, I don't think they are. But if they are ruling the West Bank, as the neocons would suggest, then the South Africa model for denuclearization is not totally off base. There's a certain bravado at the beginning of a Middle East regime change war. There's enthusiasm, bold predictions of swift victory, and usually a total misunderstanding of what happens next. And the leading voice championing regime change wars for decades has been Fox News.
Fox News, the same Fox News that's advocating for this right now as well. And President Trump actually called Fox News out yesterday, which he's often done. But, and I appreciate that he calls out Fox News right here. But at the same time, as I said, we hate Sean Hannity too, but he keeps giving him exclusives. So, so MAGA hates Fox News is what Trump said. And I was like, yeah, well, we also hate Sean Hannity, but you do continue to give him exclusives.
We must do the right thing. Saddam is evil and a threat to the world. He must go. We should have just taken 1441 and rammed it down Saddam's throat. It is dangerous to allow an evil dictator to remain in power. Now, if you want a chance that Saddam would never use those deadly weapons, that is your right in a free society, and I respect that right. But I don't want to chance that. Saddam Hussein is the largest army in the Middle East, all right? He has developed these weapons for no purpose. He doesn't need them defensively, all right? He doesn't need them at all. He's used them, as you know, all right? And he's invaded 2 other countries. But this isn't enough for you to have him removed. I think you're dead wrong. I don't think that there's any reason on this earth that man should remain in power. In the end, Saddam will be removed from power, and the world will be a better place.
Tragically, we will lose
Yeah, for the record, that didn't make the world a better place.
American lives, but it will be brief. We're going to find out massive evidence of weapons of mass destruction.
I am confident that all those things that you predict are going to come true, and a lot of people that have been laying out the case against us are going to be very embarrassed.
Iraqi regime did not and has not disarmed. Saddam Hussein is deemed by the White House a threat to American national security, a brutal, murderous dictator, and a menace to the world. It is the hope of the administration and the goal of the war planners that disarmament and regime change be accomplished as swiftly as practical. Some number of our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters will give their lives for the cause of freedom.
Things that we haven't seen in the past, very accurate weapons, very lethal. The Moab is a daisy cutter on steroids, and Iraq is not prepared for what's going to be thrown at them.
Oh, Iraq wasn't prepared. Daisy cutter? This is how easily the so-called foreign policy experts believed we would carve our way through Iraq. I saw how many of our bravest patriots were pushing up daisies as a consequence of that war. I went to their funerals. I visited their grave sites. I saw the true cost of a flawed regime change war in the Middle East. The problem is we had no plan to get out. Iraq cost America $3 trillion, and this distraction and disaster aided in both the rise of China and ISIS. Whoever was telling you that we had the ability to topple a regime in Iraq and then come out with something better was either one, lying to you, or two, so wholly ignorant about the country they were invading that their lack of knowledge or curiosity or understanding led to blood and terrorism and chaos. So as we approach the 2025 vintage of regime change wars in Iran, I wonder if those now cheerleading attacks on Iran know anything about the country they want to topple.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population. At all? No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple? How many people live in Iran? 92 million. Okay. Yeah. How could you not know that?
Again, I'm a fan of Tucker. I'm not a fan of Ted Cruz. And this clip went mega viral. It's clear that Tucker Googled that right before this interview, like as a gotcha. Like it's clear, and that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but let's not act like 6 months ago, if you would have just randomly walked up on the street and asked Tucker Carlson how many people were in Iran, he would have known that off the top of his head. Like, come on. Like let's be real here.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables. Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government. Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant? Because if you don't know anything about the country... I didn't say I don't know anything about what's the ethnic mix of Iran? They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, it's not even. You don't know anything about Iran, so I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran. You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government. You're the one who don't know anything about the country.
It's easy to sit in a senator's office or a perch in the Pentagon and send out tweets, press releases, and blustered statements about war. Nobody is shooting missiles at you in a Fox News studio. People barely even shoot divergent opinions at you in that myopathy. That's the comfortable political move in the short term, to support regime change wars. But that comfort is not shared by those who have to go fight in these wars and die in them, and many will.
Now, luckily, the man that ultimately gets to make the final decision is a man named Donald J. Trump. And let's not forget what this man's stance was on the Iraq war back in 2016.
On Monday, George W. Bush will campaign in South Carolina for his brother. As you said tonight, and you've often said, the Iraq war and your opposition to it was a sign of your good judgment. In 2008, in an interview with Wolf Blitzer talking about President George W. Bush's conduct of the war, you said you were surprised that Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't try to impeach him. You said, quote, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing, close quote. When you were asked what you meant by that, you said, for the war. For the war. He lied. He got us into the war with lies. Do you still believe President Bush should be impeached? Should have been impeached?
First of all, I have to say, as a businessman, I get along with everybody. I have business all over the world. I know so many of the people in the audience. And by the way, I'm a self-funder. I have my wife and I have my son. That's all I have. I don't have this. So let me just tell you, I get along with everybody, which is my obligation to my company, to myself, etc. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, it took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It took him 5 days before his people told him what to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it? You do whatever you want.
Since day one, dun dun dun, Trump Me and Trump both paid by Mossad. Hell yeah. Me and Trump, baby. Let's fucking go.
You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass
Okay.
destruction.
All right. Governor Bush. When a member on the stage's brother gets attacked,
I got
brother
about
gets
5
to
or 6.
respond.
I get to do it 5 or 6 times or just
I'm being
once
nice.
responding to that. So here's the deal. I'm sick and tired of Barack Obama blaming my brother for all of the problems that he's had. And frankly,
Dude, Jeb Bush reminded me of he reminds me of Mick Foley back in the day. You remember when Mick Foley would try to get cheap pops from the crowd? You know, hey, it's great to be here in, you know, whatever towns we get the cheap pops. And that's what Jeb Bush reminded me of during these debates. Freaking Mick Foley just getting cheap pops.
I could care less about the insults that Donald Trump gives to me. It's blood sport for him. He enjoys it, and I'm glad he's happy about it. But I am sick
$22
and
million
tired.
in
I am
ads.
sick and tired of him going after my family. My dad is the greatest man alive in my mind. While Donald Trump was building a reality TV show, my brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe, and I'm proud of what he did. And he's had the gall to go
The
after
World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had the
during
gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my
Remember
mother.
that.
Hold on.
Let me finish this. He's had the gall to go after my mother.
It's not
Look,
keeping
I
us
won
safe.
the lottery when I was born 63 years ago and looked up and I saw my mom. My mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should
This
be
is
running.
not about my...
She should be running. What a douchebag thing to say. I love it so much.
my family or his family.
Okay.
This is about the South Carolina families that need...
So that's the end of the clip. So this is the man that I voted for, and I believe that he will ultimately make the right decision to keep us out of this nonsensical war. Now, again, people are questioning that, and I have no problem with anyone questioning what's happening right now. I have zero problem with that. But, we are, again, different reports are coming out, that Iran is ready to have limitations on its uranium enrichment. A senior Iranian official tells Reuters peace is possible in Iran. Keep pushing. I don't know if this is true because everything that we've been hearing for the past week or 2 weeks now is how do you determine if something's real, if it's legit? And I have no idea. What I believe, though, is I do believe President Trump is negotiating to the best of his ability, which his ability to negotiate is about as good as anybody's. Let me catch a few of these super chats. Sorry for falling behind. I've been ranting and memeing. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, hey, Jeremy, sorry you were stuck in a gay prison cell. I'm not looking forward to how your weekend is shaping up. Have a good weekend, or at least try to. Make sure to avoid bananas. Thank you, John freaking Murdoch, for $50. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We got JRG Project says, if the Iranian party kicks off, look up Welcome to the Drop Zone by Master Helldiver. It sounds like an 80s metal mixed with Nam anti-war flair. By the way, Matt Gaetz is outside the Beltway, but knows it. Changes one's perspective. Well, that's one of the reasons that they did not let him become Attorney General, because Matt Gaetz has always kind of been like that to an extent. Norm Al Man for 20 says, if that detractor thinks you are smart, then I'm afraid to know what he thinks is stupid. I know, dude. Like, it's obvious that I've gotten a huge amount of new viewers that know nothing about me. And they think that I have standards, and don't. They think that I'm they think that they're going to get respectable conversations around here. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? There's far better podcasters out there. If you're looking for a good, intelligent, level-headed, good discussion, that it's not happening here. 8 o'clock says, hey, Jeremy, watched Man on Fire last night because it's free on YouTube Movies. Great movie. And between that and Interstellar, I'm starting to notice a theme. Yes. Man on Fire, one of my favorite movies. And I think it's Denzel Washington's best movie ever. And of course, yes, there is a theme with the movies that really hit home with me for sure. But yeah, Man on Fire, man, when Denzel goes full badass Denzel, there ain't another character. There's not another actor in movie history that's as badass as Denzel, dude. Such a great movie. Forest of the Tree says, Tree Bear, we need a meme of Jeremy as John Travolta's character from Swordfish, who was a Mossad agent, and Beardo as Hugh Jackman. Look at that, Tree Bear. You're getting super chat requests now. Tree Bear will be on it very soon. Mitchell Field says, we need to find the good in any situation. With the Nintendo Switch 2 being so expensive, if there is a new war, there will be a boost in the economy, though the working class can finally afford it. Yeah, I mean, that's one. I don't think we're going to have like I don't think we're going to have boots on the ground war. I will say this. If we have boots on the ground in Iran, that would legitimately get me to seriously question my future support for President Trump. Not even lying. Like, boots on the ground with American soldiers, I would be very pissed off at that point in time, because that is not what I voted for under any circumstance, unless Iran attacked us directly. But at the current state that we're in, no boots on the ground. No boots on the ground at all. Young for 10 says, allowing another country that funds terror proxies isn't the way to go. Bringing up North Korea is dumb. They only have it because we did nothing. Now we have to tiptoe around them. Oh, about Matt Gaetz' take. English Batchers for 20 says, for the lights and curtain, mate, keep on keeping on. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Let's see. Vlad says, hey, Jer, do you like fry rye? Yes, I guess. I don't know. Dark Obsidian says, good morning, Jeremy. I'm actually on time for once to your stream. Well, glad to have you here. Pedro says, Jeremy is our David Muir, but not as fruity hail. Smeeky says, for a minute, I thought I was back in Mordor. Stream Hero says, still no power. Luckily, the local store let me charge my phone. Power was supposed to be restored today. Now they're saying tomorrow. That's 3 days with no power. Damn, that's tough, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I have to show this because it's just too damn funny. And this puts it into perspective about Democrats right here. Jerry Nadler decided to, I guess you can say, stand up against ICE. You can't even see him. Like, he's so little. Look at him.
But these people are wearing masks and are totally unidentified. And the question is why? The question is why? It's completely improper. And again, one has to assume they're hiding something or they're hiding misbehavior, because otherwise, why would they be wearing masks and denying their identity?
Can't y'all get that man a milk crate? Like, seriously, can we not get the man a milk crate? I would be less embarrassed if somebody took a picture of me standing on a milk crate, all right, than I would standing like that. This is embarrassing, dude. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Democrats are so stupid. They really are something else, man. This imagery was just so good. I couldn't pass up showing it and laughing about it. Oh, my God. Love roasting the Democrats. It's truly the best thing ever. So, by the way, so we were, I know you guys, you know, I do listen to feedback. I do, because genuine criticisms, genuine feedback, I absolutely take into account. So I didn't even realize this. So Danke had clipped out my. I mean, I knew he was going to do it. I didn't look at the video until like today or whatever, or yesterday. So Danke clipped out the part where I was talking about Dave Smith, and so we got that uploaded. And you know, I've been very critical of Dave Smith with his takes, and I don't care for libertarians and all that either. So I'm getting cooked in the comments. Not totally surprising. Dave Smith is 10 times more popular than I'll ever be. But I actually looked at some of the comments, and I looked at those comments and I was like, you know, this Dave Smith dude has a pretty passionate following. And from the consistent thing is that a lot of people had said, like, Jeremy, you'd probably like the guy if you listened to him. And so I actually did. I took your criticism into account, and I decided to go over to Dave Smith's YouTube channel. And coincidentally enough, his the most recent video that I saw was titled "The Funeral of Ben Shapiro," and I was like, "Oh, I'm interested to watch this." And I actually enjoyed listening to Dave Smith's take. Mainly it's just because I can't stand Ben Shapiro. But I listened to, it's a long video. It's like an hour long. I listened to about half of it. And I still feel the same in terms of, like, I think his opinions on Trump are absolutely ridiculous and unrealistic. But if you take his anti-Trump bullshit out of it, I actually think he has a pretty level head on a lot of different things. And I like a lot of his takes on a lot of different things. So I finally did listen to him beyond the sound bites. And I kind of agree with a lot of what people in the chat were saying. So I do listen to the feedback. I do take that into account, especially when I see consistency from people. And I'm like, a lot of people are saying this, so maybe I should check it out. So I stand by. I think he's nonsensical with his Trump takes, but he does seem to have a pretty level head. Him roasting Ben Shapiro, and he pulled up stuff from Ben Shapiro I didn't even know about. So if you go to like Ben Shapiro's, if you go back to Ben Shapiro like in 2016, Ben Shapiro said that he would never vote for Donald Trump on principle. He said, even if winning, he says, if you're sacrificing your principles to win, then you've truly won nothing, or something to that extent. And I didn't know it was that bad. And yeah, I mean, and so Shapiro calling out Dave Smith for abandoning or being, inconsistent is wild, considering, Shapiro was never Trump. He called Trump a racist and a sexist back in 2016. He then apologized for that because he was obviously wrong and got proven wrong. And then again, Shapiro turns on Trump again during the primaries for DeSantis to ultimately be proven wrong again. And then, as Dave Smith said in his video, now what Ben Shapiro was doing in his video that he made about Dave Smith is Ben Shapiro was essentially leveraging Trump supporters against Dave Smith, because Ben was basically calling out Dave for going against Trump, which I don't like at all. But I agree with it. Dave said Ben Shapiro was being manipulative by basically going, oh, Trump supporters, look, I'm supporting Trump now. I'm supporting Trump. I love Trump. He's doing the greatest things ever. But this Dave Smith man is so evil. And it definitely comes off as very manipulative. And I did not like that. So anyway, that's just the update I wanted to give all of you. I do genuinely take, legitimate criticism into account. And so you guys forced me to go watch Dave Smith, and I turned out that I didn't hate the guy. I just think his Trump takes are retarded. So there you go. There you go, chat. There's your update on that. Okay. Emo says, here's your paycheck. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pedro says, Jeremy may be elite Israeli special forces. Nandy says, Jeremy is an MI6 agent. Men are speaking, says, all the Dave Smith Glazers are looking like Ricky Ritardo right now. That Piers Morgan segment was oof. I didn't watch that one, but I do think that his comments are going to come back to bite him on the Trump impeachment stuff. Absolutely. I think they're going to bite him hard. Jeremy the PSYOP for $1. Thank you. Kyle T says, they're only educated in moving the goalposts. McCock says, Jeremy is not on my side. The not being side 199. What's up, McCock? So Mikey likes it, says, lucky number 13. God bless America, the USA, the Snake Pit, and the Fellowship. Thank you. My phone keeps changing what I wanted to say. I was trying to say you're fig. Can you get it figured out, McCock? Huh? Can you? So, as Marie Antoinette once said of Joan of Arc and Mozart, what's up, my homies? I confirmed. She actually said that. How's the snake pit doing, y'all? Having a great day with Cobra Cast on. Thank you. Let's see. Iran did tactical attacks on Saddam's, I can't even say that word, nuclear research center in 1980. Why is Iran crying? They can attack Iraq, but Israel can't attack them. Say what you want about Fox News, but you got to admit they have some damn fitties on there. I mean, hotties. So illogical, they do, by the way. Illogical victory says 2,977 people died on 9/11. About 2,700 soldiers died fighting 10 years in the Middle East. After 10 years, how many do you think they lost? I honestly don't know. There's ton. If you're talking about the entire war under, is it the George W. Bush war? Is that what you're talking about? I have no idea. A lot, though. If you're talking about just soldiers, a lot. But if you're adding total losses, it's astronomical. Iraq did have WMDs. They used them, chemical weapons, to carry out genocide. The 2002 ICG found them guilty of genocide. They didn't have weapons of mass destruction to the level that our government was claiming they did. They lied. They did not have weapons of mass destruction to the level that our government was claiming. They used scare tactics. Our government used scare tactics in order to convince the American public that we needed to do an all-out war in Iraq. And I remember that. Do you remember when the approval ratings for George W. Bush were like in the 90s after 9/11? They were like in the 90s, Democrats and Republicans. Do you remember when George W. Bush came out to the Yankees game and threw out that first pitch? Literally every American was behind this dude. And they used all of that goodwill as leverage to go into Iraq so that they could steal the oil. That's what they did. Fuck George W. Bush. Ram taxes, not to kiss butt, but I've been tuning in more lately. Your takes have been sharp. Just wanted to say, keep it up. Hey, thank you. That's a genuine compliment. I appreciate it. I don't typically like compliments, but with all of the accusations of being, this, that, and the other, it's nice to, I guess, have a random compliment. But let's not make a point of compliments around here because I don't like them that much. Den Hawkins says, Cruz was right. Predominantly Persian, then Shiite. The Shiite revolution came around 77, took Iran from secular society to radical Islam. Well, and Tucker cut him off on that. Again, if you actually watch the Tucker Carlson Ted Cruz interview without the clips and the sound bites, it's actually a really good interview. I thought it was a good interview. I think Tucker overall got the best of him, but I thought it was a good interview. I thought it was a good back and forth between a couple of guys who agree on most things, but have some pretty stark differences on other things. And I didn't really have a problem with it. A lot of people just get so caught up in sound bites. It's kind of weird, man. Now, there were reports yesterday that Steve Bannon met with President Trump. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's true. There was many reports out there that this happened. I hope that it's true because Steve Bannon has obviously worked under the Trump administration. He's good and he's close allies with President Trump. And he is not for the United States getting involved in this. However, he is pro-Israel, and he's said many times that he's pro-Israel. But this is what Steve Bannon had to say.
One thing you can see is that he gave him another couple of weeks. He's trying to get a deal. And if they're at all interested in the deal, something could be struck. But if they're not going to have a deal, if they're just going to set, President Trump said you're not going to have a nuclear weapon, he may go another alternative, but he will come back and explain that to people. But even then, it's not easy. It's quite complicated. These strike packages are complicated. It's not just the pilots' lives you're putting in jeopardy. It's also the United States, because then we're a combatant. We're a combatant. We are a combatant in another war, and maybe we can limit it. But President Trump, I will tell you, will look through every alternative, and he will make sure it's 125% that, hey, this thing can happen. It's not one swoop. It's very complicated. So that's why I keep telling when I on the show, for the Israelis. Finish what you started. You say you could have taken this thing out. It may take additional bombing runs. It may take commando raids. Get on with it. Whatever it takes, go for it.
Audio's low. Yeah, the audio was just a little low on that clip in general, so there's nothing I can do about that one. And then we just got this in. Iran says it's open to continuing nuclear talks with the U.S. Is that true? Maybe. Until I hear it directly from the administration, I'm not willing to just blanketly believe any of these sites right now, because we've just heard so much stuff. We've heard so many different things from so many different perspectives that turn out to not be true. And, I mean, it's wild. Like, look, and I know, I would never believe this account, but a lot of people probably do believe accounts like this. This is right here from Putin News. Breaking: Trump is close to ordering an attack, according to Israel's Channel 13 News. And these are the things that we're seeing all over Twitter right now, is these reports. And then people run with it thinking it's the truth. And then they have an emotional reaction because they just go, oh, well, President Trump is getting us into another war because, look, this random account just reported it. It doesn't make sense. And we heard this yesterday. Now, again, this is the same guy who said today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it could be New York. But then yesterday, Netflix Yahoo says that Israel does not need help to reach its goal in Iran. He says they can accomplish their goals alone when it comes to Iran's nuclear facilities. Well, then why have you been lobbying to the American people over and over again? Why did you say today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it can be New York? It doesn't seem to add up. It doesn't seem to add up at all. No way. No way. Just in, 5.2 magnitude earthquake reported in Iran. What? No way. What? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is this true? Holy crap. Wait a minute. Guys, it happened. Hang on. It happened. I thought we were memeing. But we're not. If Iran doesn't surrender in the next 24 hours, I'm going to drop Chris Christie on them. Ladies and gentlemen, that was no earthquake. That was Chris Christie. Is 5.2 like a serious earthquake? I don't know. I live in Florida, so I have no experience with earthquakes, so I have no idea. No, it's not. It's not. Okay. Yeah, I have no I have no understanding of it. I guess it's like if you were to tell someone the difference in the categories and hurricanes maybe that don't live in Florida, they probably wouldn't understand it. So that's where I am. So 5 is nothing. Okay. Yeah, I have no grip of what is a big hurricane or not. I have no idea. So yeah, we have, by the way, so this was reported yesterday, and I think this is hilarious. Kamala Harris considered selecting Mark Cuban as her vice presidential pick in 2024, but he declined. Really? No way, dude. No way. No way. I don't know if I believe this or not. I truly don't know. On one hand, it sounds like something Kamala would do, but on the other hand, is this just oh shit? I got so many fucking screens over here. But this sounds like something Mark Cuban would do to make himself feel better about the situation at hand. So I just don't know, man. I don't know if I believe this or not. Mark Cuban desperately wants to be looked at like Elon and Trump. He desperately wants that type of feedback. And he wants that type of love. And I don't think that my gut feeling on this is that I don't think that she offered this to him. I think that he is trying to position himself for a run in 2028. That's what I think. I don't think that she did. I think that he's positioning himself for a 2028 run as the Democratic nominee. That's what I think he's doing. And I don't want to underestimate him. Why is your audio crap? Is my audio crap? Somebody says, why is your audio crap? Is it? My audio should be fine. What's everybody else think about my audio? My audio should be fine. Sounds okay to me. It's okay. It's acceptable. Yes, but it's okay. It's probably just because I'm in a room that is echoing a lot. So, let's see. Somebody commented on John Murdoch's 50 and said audio is shit. I respect that you went to John Murdoch's 50 and said that. I respect that. All right, it's fine. Keep it moving. All right. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, it's the best I can do. It's the best I can do. Shorty Short says, how do I get that Mossad money? Those are the questions I'm asking myself. Joe C says Hannity ate breakfast with Trump on the day that the guy tried to take him out. Hannity was supposed to play golf with him, but he didn't. He knew. I wouldn't go that far. I definitely wouldn't go that far that Hannity knew anything. I just think Hannity is a puppet for the Republican Party, and he'll support whoever is the nominee regardless. He has no like actual beliefs or anything like that. Ministry of Wrong Things says the fact that we're still in the will he won't he stage is proof Trump is actively fighting for MAGA. The bandwagoners preemptively roaching out is pathetic. I agree completely. I agree. Let's see. Orleo says 2005 Franz Anrant was found guilty of selling chemicals used by Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, which the UN study recorded they had the ability to reproduce WMDs. Dirty Jersey says, I think Trump was blindsided by Netflix Yahoo. Honestly, Trump wants a deal despite propaganda. Iran is a pragmatic regime. Trump will find the deal. I hope so. Demon of Cybertron says, is that Jerry Nadler or Danny DeVito? Who's that other one? Is it Robert? Hang on, Robert. No, who's that? Who's the really short senator? He's either a congressman or a senator. He's a little short guy. There's a picture of him and Bill Clinton, and he's literally like 4'2". Is it Robert Reich? Is that it? Let's see. Robert. Is that him? Yes, that's him. And Bill Clinton. His picture's so good. What is he? Let's see. Oh, he's a professor. Okay. And a political commentator. Okay. Here we go. I always see him on Twitter. So where's this picture of him and Clinton? I got to find it. He's just looking up to Bill Clinton. It's so funny. Listen right here. Massive Trump hater. Look. This dude is a massive Trump hater, like massive. You know what Bill's saying? Bill's like, you're the right height. So, oh my God, man, these people. Yeah, these Trump haters are something else. But I want to go back to this really quick. So bottom line is regardless if this is true or not, it's irrelevant to, I think that Mark Cuban is 100% positioning himself to run in 2028. And I'm just going to be honest, man. I know it's easy to dismiss Mark Cuban. I think Mark Cuban is an idiot. But I think that you have to look at the Democratic nominees right now and the options that they have. And I think that he would have as good a chance as anybody. I think he would have, like, who do we really think could be a nominee on the Democratic side at this point? AOC, Jasmine Crockett. I feel like Gavin Newsom has really hurt himself big time. Stephen A. Smith. You know, I truly could see a Gavin Newsom at the top of the ticket and Mark Cuban as the VP. I could 100% see that. I absolutely could. I could see that. Robert De Niro, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, my prediction is Mark Cuban is trying to position himself to be in the discussion for 2028. I believe that. And to be fair, I kind of hope he does, because he's going to get absolutely destroyed. He will get crushed. Let's see here. Let me pull up my bookmarks. Minister of Wrong Things says, get that man a taller soapbox. Eric K says, Jeremy is the most brilliant, insightful, charismatic, concise, pragmatic streamer on YouTube. These are lies. McCock with 5, get the memberships. Thank you. Logan Miller with 5, get the memberships. Thank you. Logan Miller says, look up Project TPA Jax. Noted. Orleo says, for the record, I despise Bush, and yes, we should not have been in Iraq. Government abused patriotism for profit. All right, I hear you, brother. I appreciate the info. Mike C says, breaking news. Iran reports it's Jessica Lindstrom's birthday. Happy birthday, Jessica. Look at that. So nice. Dr. Daisuke says, I see it. The Netflix Yahoo is a troublemaker in all of this. He also advocated for the Iraq war, poisoned the minds of the coalition. 0 Israeli soldiers died in that war, by the way. Keep grinding, my American brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, all I could do, I have no vested interest in any of this outside of supporting President Trump. So I can look at the situation as objectively as possible. And, you know, the problem is you have people that demand that you be on their side. Like, you have to be on their side. Jeremy, you have to agree with everything I say, that Israel bad, Israel bad, Israel bad. And I'm like, I don't think that. I think that the Israeli government probably is bad, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to be anti-Israel, the Israel people. I'm not going to do that at all. I'm not against any general people. The more I'm told that I should be against someone or something, the less I'm going to be inclined to do that. Same tactic as the mainstream media. The mainstream media has told me Russia bad forever. Why am I supposed to think Russia's bad again? Why? Do I think that the government's bad? Probably. Do I think that the people are bad? No. But the mainstream media has demanded that I think that the Russian people are the worst people, and Russia bad, Russia agents, Russia bots, Russia interfered in the election. And I'm like, I don't believe this, because you're forcing me to have to believe this. So then the more that I'm told that Israel bad, Israel bad, Israel bad, and that I'm paid by them, which is just the most retarded statement of all time, then I don't believe anything that these clowns say about it. However, when I do my own research, I think that Netflix Yahoo is 100% corrupt. He's a mall kiosk person. He's a used car salesman, and he seems to be hell-bent on staying in power and continuing his corruption. I think that based on my own research, and not because people are telling me that I'm supposed to feel that way. But yet I say that, and then the same people that tell me that I should be against Israel tell me I'm pro-Israel, but that I'm criticizing the guy that leads Israel. It's the weirdest dynamic in the world, man. The online discussion is fucked up. Kyle T says, plot twist, the people accusing you of being funded by Mossad are actually Mossad agents trying to use reverse psychology. Oh. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is now out. Everybody accusing me of being a Mossad agent is actually a Mossad agent using, and this, Every single one of you in the chat now, if you say it, you've been exposed. It's over. McCock says, gifties for being dumb. I'm trying to get it together. You are super smart, handsome, and you're what? I never want another man to ever say that to me again. Ever. McCock, stop. McCock, what is wrong with you? Happy birthday, Jessica. Hope it's bad for what you said. Damn. 5.2 is a baby, and Californians wouldn't care. Oh, talking about the earthquake. Jeremy is a massage agent. Massage agent. Okay, I can. If that's what you think. I saw this clip. This is a little bit of an older clip, but it's from The View. I don't know what this is in reference to, so let's watch it.
Just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not.
Okay, I retract everything I said. I'm fully supporting Iran now. Give me an Iran hat. Give me an Iran jersey. Let's fucking go. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is 2 days, 2025, is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into Toronto.
I'm sorry.
What, they wear like no, I can't have my hair showing. I can't.
Thank you. You're probably going to clip out the part where I said that about Iran. So you're going to have to clip that out.
For a skirt, I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it, it's not good. So that's why.
Unless they're wearing a MAGA hat, right, Whoopi? Unless they're wearing a MAGA hat, because that's how you Democrats think about it.
I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that.
So so they were against Iran then, but now they're like these people.
And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't.
Who worries about that outside of Chicago and democratic cities? Like, do you worry about your kids being shot in a red state, red city? Like, do you just worry about like, oh my God, I'm just going to walk outside, I'm going to get shot? Maybe in blue cities.
Don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave them.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe. They can't go out of their house. The women,
when you find out you're not really a victim, oh my God, that's so great. She just found out she can't play the victim card. She just found out in real time you can't actually pretend you're a victim.
There's no way I can make you understand.
No, let me try something. It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand.
This is the oppression Olympics. This is the oppression Olympics right here in front of our very eyes. I'm more offended than you. I'm more victimized than you. You don't know what it's like because I won the oppression Olympics. And then a trans person can come in there and go, well, you don't know what it's like to be a trans person. You don't understand my struggle. I'm more victimized than you. It just never ends. It never ends.
Stand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go.
I completely acknowledge that,
and we shouldn't compare atrocities. If you're talking about Iran, Iran, of course, is doing worse things. But relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I guess we're going to come back and talk. We're going to come back and talk more about this.
God, these cows, like, it's just exhausting to listen to the victimization. And again, I've been talking about the oppression Olympics for a long, long time, but that puts it into perspective right there. It's like you have a bunch of cows, a bunch of women up here claiming that they're oppressed. But then you have Whoopi pulling the race card and go, you don't understand my struggle as a black woman. You don't understand my struggle. And it just continues to just devolve into this, like, who's more oppressed? Who's more oppressed? Do you know who's oppressed in this country more than anyone? Men. Men have less rights than women in the United States of America. That's a fact. Men. I have no power as a man if I get a woman pregnant. I have no power. The woman can do whatever she wants. I have no power. She can go ahead and get that thing aborted, and I have no say-so in it. Yet if she decides that she's going to have it and I don't want to be with her, I still have to pay for it. I don't have the decision to financially say I don't want to support it. Explain that one to me. So men have less rights in the United States of America than women. And that's a fact. So how's that for your oppression Olympics right there? And ultimately, let's be clear, in my humble opinion, no, fuck that. This isn't my humble opinion. No one should be able to abort a baby, period. That's not my humble opinion. That's a fact. You shouldn't be able to abort a fucking kid. A man shouldn't be able to, and a woman shouldn't be able to. If you get into a sexual situation with another person and you end up getting them pregnant, then you need to have that kid. Simple as that. And if that offends you, I don't fucking care. All right, so that crap's over right there. So anyway, there you go. I'm tired of the oppression Olympics. I'm sick and tired of it. But I do. It was years ago where Dave Chappelle, wasn't it Dave Chappelle that made that point where he's like, he said something to the effect of like, a woman's right to choose, but he's like, but a man should be able to choose if they want to financially support the kid. If we're going to be equal, let's be equal. And if a woman has a right to abort that baby, then the man should have the right to go, okay, well, if you're going to have the baby, I don't want to support it. I don't think that's a good situation, for the record, by the way. I think that's a horrific situation. I think ultimately it should be, that if there's a child born, then if there's a child created, a child should be born. But if we're going to call a spade, and if we want to have equal rights, then let's have equal rights. Let's have equal rights, ladies. Fucking bullshit. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. Let me see where we're at. Crazy Clown Town says Jeremy is an MIB agent. Go arrest those aliens. Eddie M says Jeremy is a gay agent. Pedro says, would you drink a beer with Stone Cold or risk getting stunned for having a mud hole stomping? Well, I don't drink beer, so I would just have to get my ass kicked because I'm never drinking beer. There's no realistic scenario that I will ever drink alcohol. Like, I just won't. So I won't do drugs. I won't smoke cigarettes, and I won't drink alcohol. So I would have to get my ass kicked. Narrow Boat Nigel says, Jeremy, stop giving a whopping fat burger oxygen, please. Emo says, I hate Whoopi Goldberg's lips. Vlad says, how about a boots in the air? Josie says, everyone's acting like women. CNN said this. Fox said this. Canizoa said this. Men keeping their emotions in check. Be a man, not a mama. Yeah, I mean, the emotional freakouts over everything right now on social media are wild. And look, man, you're welcome to be upset about whatever you want to be upset over. I would just say, oh, wait, hang on. What is this? Oh, President Trump is now on his way out of D.C. to Bedminster and just boarded Air Force One. He will definitely continue to be briefed on Iran and engage in political discussions if it means peace, not war. Hold steady, Mr. President. Absolutely. It's going to be I expected yesterday to take off and be kind of crazy, but it ultimately, after the White House press briefing, it really wasn't that crazy. I anticipate this weekend's going to be kind of quiet, but I could be wrong. But I'm anticipating this is going to be a quiet weekend. Time will tell, though, and we will find out if it's going to be a quiet weekend or not. I am so sick of seeing Mark Levin on my timeline. I've never really known a lot about Mark Levin, but I'm learning that he is essentially a warmonger, and I'm sick and tired of seeing him on my timeline. I can't say I've ever watched an entire episode of Mark Levin's show, but yeah, I'm sick and tired of this guy. Absolutely sick of him. Now, the only reason I'm showing you guys this is because Tree Bear put it on the timeline, and I just want you to understand the level of fucked upness that we have in the 199, okay? Look how deranged Tree Bear is. What the hell is this? I'm going out for death sticks and blue milk. Be back later. That is rough, man. That is rough. It's from Daily. Is that what it was? It was a meme from Daily. Well, we have some interesting peeps. Tree Bear is deranged, and I say that in the most complimentary way possible. He's absolutely deranged. So all is calm right now over in the Middle East. Well, as calm as it can be. I haven't heard of any reports or anything like that. So nothing on that front. Let's see here. I'm going to go over to my bookmarks because I have more clips that I want to show you. I know. I'm sorry. Yesterday's Daily, to be exact, says Crazy Clown Town. Okay, got it. This clip right here is wild. Big Mike Obama, during Big Mike's podcast, said that if she and Barack Hussein Obama had a son, it would have been a Barack Obama. Not in a good way. Bro, Michelle hates Barack. Michelle Obama hates Barack.
It's about what he needs as a grown man in the world. That would be.
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama.
It's like baby Barack. It would have been amazing.
No, I would have felt for him.
Dude, she straight up hates him. That is wild. Let me see if I can find this clip right here. That is crazy, man. I'm trying to find this one video. Don't know if I can find it. Maybe it's under my liked videos. Oh, no. Here's what I wanted to show you. That's right. Okay. So Barack Obama, I believe Barack Obama is really, really struggling right now. And he's struggling because Donald Trump has essentially destroyed his entire political legacy. And it drives him crazy. And if you look back, Barack Obama essentially created Donald Trump, the politician. There was I think it was a White House Correspondents' Dinner. I'm not exactly sure, where Barack Obama just sat there and just went after Trump and roasted him, and his Hollywood friends roasted Trump. It was a very, very ugly situation, to say the least. And as Trump sat there and just listened and listened, I think this is it right here. Okay, yeah, this is it. I've got the video. So let me show you this video. For those of you that don't know the story, this is the greatest backfire in history right here. And Barack Obama is paying the price big time. Here it is.
This one moment changed politics forever.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
It was April 30th, 2011, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, a ballroom packed with elites, politicians, journalists, and celebrities. But what they didn't know was that they had just created their worst nightmare.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Sitting in the crowd that night was Donald Trump. Not yet a politician, just an extremely rich businessman. A guy who dared to challenge the system and got mocked for it.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
For weeks, Trump had been hammering Obama on his birthplace of Kenya. And the media, they couldn't handle it. So they did what the elites do best. They tried to humiliate him. And that night, Barack Hussein Obama took the stage and made Trump the punchline.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
The room absolutely loved it. They weren't laughing at a joke. They were laughing at Trump. They wanted him small, embarrassed, and broken. Obama.
Never going to happen with Trump. And this is why I always say, like, do not ever underestimate what Donald Trump is thinking at all times. He's always thinking, I'll take it right now. I will take this beating in the moment, and I'm going to pay you back and destroy you when the time is right. This is how he operates. Don't ever get caught up in what's happening in the moment. This dude is a next level thinker. He does not let things go unchecked. He just doesn't. This is not who he is.
Obama kept swinging, mocking Trump's business, his TV show, and his ambition.
All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. Just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey.
Then came that fake image on the screen. The White House turned into a Trump casino.
Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
The media howled, but Trump didn't move. That image, Trump sitting still while everyone else laughed, that was the moment. You can almost hear it in his head. Just you wait and see. Then it got worse. The host that night, liberal comedian Seth Meyers, picked up where Obama left off.
Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it.
The room roared, but Trump didn't flinch. He sat there surrounded by smug elites who thought they had crushed him. They didn't realize they had actually just activated him. And as the night went on, Trump left early. No after parties, no cameras. But that night didn't fade. It burned. Roger Stone later said it plainly. That's the night he decided to run.
Maybe I'll just run. Maybe I'll show them all.
Trump never admitted it directly, but he didn't have to. Because 4 years later, he came down that escalator.
Donald Trump is running for president and made his entrance by coming down the escalator at Trump Tower with his wife, Melania.
We need somebody that literally will take this country and make it great again.
The same media that laughed in 2011 laughed again in 2015.
We better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket next. I know you don't believe that.
I know you don't believe that.
Embarrassing.
They said he didn't stand a chance.
Donald Trump will not become president.
He's not going to be president.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
My mother always said, be careful what you wish for, because you'll get it. And then people get jealous and try to take it away from you.
They mocked the slogan, they mocked his supporters, they mocked you. But Trump didn't care. He started winning.
This has been an amazing evening.
Christie.
Already we've
Chris Christie looking for a cheeseburger. Look at him. Look at Chris Christie's like, hey man, anybody got some cheeseburgers? Look at him.
amazing evening. Already we've won 5 major states, and it looks like we could win 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.
One by one, he crushed the GOP field. Jeb Bush
is a low energy person.
Marco Rubio,
Don't worry about it, little Marco.
and Ted Cruz.
You know, Lion Ted Cruz came today. He couldn't draw 100 people. 100 people.
Then he turned to Hillary, the ultimate swamp creature.
Honestly, she has less energy than Jeb Bush. Admit it.
And on November 8th, 2016, he won.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us. It's about us. On our victory.
And the same people that laughed that night in 2011, they were silently crying in a corner. The punchline had become their president. They tried to stop him again. They impeached him, censored him, rigged debates, but Trump refused to go away. And in 2024, he won again. That dinner in 2011 was supposed to be the end of Trump. Instead, it was the beginning. The elites tried to humiliate him, but he took their mockery and turned it into a movement. He never forgot, and in the end, he got the last laugh. And this was the moment that changed politics forever.
Good job, Barack Obama. Good job. So that brings us to this right here, that Trump has passed Obama as the most historically significant president of the 21st century, and it's driving Obama crazy. Driving him crazy, as it should. Because you did this, Barack Obama. Your arrogance did this. Your arrogance created the single most important political figure of our lifetime. And it's not even close.
Democrats.
I know the audio's a little low. I can't bump it anymore.
But it's not 2008 anymore. It's the golden age. If Barack wants to get back in the ring, he needs to step out of the faculty lounge and get real.
I'd like to hear President Obama making those points.
Maybe that bumped it up
with
some.
Joe Rogan and Theo Von and like and bro pods, not with like academics on panels. Like that, I just think that he has a higher and better purpose in this moment.
Outkick.com founder Clay Travis. So Clay, they want Barack Obama to get arrested by ICE and like chuck Molotov cocktails at him.
Jesse, here's a question. And I would love to hear Barack Obama answer this. He's a sports fan. He coached his daughters in basketball while he was president of the United States. I think a lot of dads and certainly a lot of moms respect that. I've coached my kids in virtually every sport at some point in time as I've been raising them. Why has Barack Obama never come out, if he cares so much about speaking truth, and said, hey, men who pretend to identify as women should not be able to win women's championships? He doesn't ever have to run for office again. Gavin Newsom came out and tried to say it. If they want Barack Obama to bring some sanity back to the Democrat Party, you have to start by saying things that he 100% believes, but that he's afraid to say. 2008 Obama and 2012 Obama would have never said that men pretending to be women can be champions when he was coaching his little girls in basketball.
He's scared of his wife. He's the typical I'm scared of my wife kind of guy.
Hey, to be fair, a lot of men watching this program right now are afraid of their wives. So, I'll give him a little bit of a pass.
I thought Clay was about to make a big Mike joke. Come on, Clay. I thought Clay was about to make a big Mike joke. That's where I thought he was going. Damn it.
Of his wife. He's the typical I'm scared of my wife kind of guy.
Hey, to be fair, a lot of men watching this program right now are afraid of their wives. So, I'll give them a little bit of a pass
but they're also.
there.
I thought he was going to do a big Mike joke, man. Like, to be fair, Jesse, I think a lot of men watching this would be afraid of Big Mike. That's what he should have said.
Not married to Michelle Obama. And she can be scary.
I do think,
and he's admitted she's scary.
I do think when you are trying to lecture America on talking and speaking the truth, and you aren't willing to acknowledge blatant lies being spread by your party, you are actually contributing to the arena of misinformation and disinformation. Here's the other thing, Jesse, that I think Obama is starting to grapple with. Donald Trump has replaced him as the most consequential politician of the 21st century.
Yes.
And I don't think he's really come to grips with that yet, Jesse. From the moment that Trump came down that escalator in 2015, all the way through this term, he's going to dominate the first quarter century of this era of this 100 years. And I think Obama thought he was going to be the star of the 21st century. And instead, Trump is, and I think it bothers him. I think he cares a great deal about his legacy.
Right, and his legacy is in tatters, and now his legacy is getting cleaned up in the Middle East again. All right, Clay Travis.
So that is happening, and that's been happening for a long time. If you look back when Barack Obama was the president, and he was loved by the media and Hollywood, and they treated him like he was the biggest star in the world. And then, of course, everything was set up for Hillary to continue the Obama legacy. And then Trump came out of nowhere and completely took that away. He took it all away. And then they rigged 2020 and they got Joe Biden in the White House, which was a third Obama term. And they thought that, okay, we're going to get everything back on the right track. Nope, because Donald Trump storming back and becoming, the greatest political story in history with his comeback in 2024. And he's essentially broken the brains of them. And now we've even gotten to a point where Chuck Todd of, I think he's still with MSNBC, massive Trump hater, massive TDS. And even Chuck Todd credits Trump with being an unprecedented historical figure in his lifetime. When Chuck Todd has to announce this and admit this, it's bad.
June 16th, the 10-year anniversary of Donald Trump descending down that escalator on Trump Tower. And let's just say it's been a transformational 10 years for the Republican Party, for American politics, for Washington, D.C., for the global world order. It's not been small. In fact, there was a moment in my recent Newsphere conversation with Steve Bannon. By the way, a free version of it is up on YouTube if you want to check it out, where he turned to me looking for some affirmation about an issue. And he goes, will you concede we are living in the age of Trump? And I didn't hesitate because he's right. I said, yes, because we are. In fact, it's been
the fact that this guy's having to finally admit this, it just shows how pathetically broken they are. This guy hates Donald Trump passionately. Some people said he's no longer with MSNBC or whatever. Yeah, I haven't kept up with him in forever, so I don't know if he got fired or if he left or whatever.
10 years since Donald Trump, right? Since descended down those escalators. And 10 years since a reality TV host, a real estate promoter, entered the political bloodstream. And whatever you want to call the moment, performance art, populist revolt, ego trip, it has turned into something far more enduring. One fluky win in the Electoral College could have been chalked up as an accident of history. And in fact, if he had only won in 2016 and never come back, that is how he would have been seen, an accident of history, more like Jimmy Carter.
And that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted him to be. They wanted him to be a blip. They looked at it and they said, if we can get rid of this guy in 2020, he'll go away. He'll be too old. He'll go away. And, that that is what they ultimately wanted. And, too bad because he's back. Because not only did the 2020 situation backfire, you made Trump more popular and more historically significant because of what you did to him in 2020 and the fact that he came roaring back in 2024. You've only made him more powerful.
Or somebody like that. But what's followed? The staying power of Trump, the man, the movement, and now the comeback. It's not an accident. It looks like we're in the middle of a realignment. We're not talking about a blip. We're talking about a decade, which means we're probably going to be talking about a generation. You might say he'll just be a chapter in the history books, but I'd argue he'll be a long chapter. He's already going to be a longer chapter than Grover Cleveland, the last guy to serve non-consecutive terms as president. He'll be longer than most modern presidents because Trump didn't change his party. He changed the job. He changed the expectations, and he's changed the culture. And that's probably the biggest impact he's made. In fact, Donald Trump's impact on American politics and society is unlike anything I've seen in my lifetime. It's greater than Obama. Something I would not have conceded 3 years ago. It's greater than Clinton. It's greater even than Reagan. You probably have to go back to FDR to find an American president who so thoroughly did a couple of things. He redefined the boundaries of the presidency and the shape of the national psyche. We haven't had another president do that since then.
This is absolutely, I mean, I agree with everything he's saying, but the fact that somebody like him is admitting it is pretty wild. We got Dan Vask with 20 gifted memberships. And of course, Dan, I mentioned your new song at the beginning of the show, and I played a little bit of a clip from it. It is so freaking awesome. You guys have to go check out Dan Vask's new song with Young Ripa. It is so damn good. Hail to Dan Vask and to Eric July. Good stuff. And he says, thanks for all the support, brother. Hail the Snake Pit. Hail Geeks and Gamers. Thank you, Dan. Proud of you, brother. Seriously. We talk shit. We have fun. But man, I'm sitting there when I watch that song with him and Ripa, I'm like, I'm friends with both of these dudes. What the hell's going on? How am I friends with both of these dudes? It's awesome to see. The Sean 2 says, Jeremy, all I heard is pride, pride, pride. Not the rainbow pride, mind you. As a black man, this is embarrassing. It's like they are glorifying skin color like it's divine. I hear you, man. Identity politics is a cancer. It's a big time cancer. Closing the chapter on the Obama thing really quick, but I mean, ultimately, Barack Obama was always a phony and a fraud. And that's just the truth of the matter. Barack Obama was always a phony. He was always a fraud. He was always someone that was installed. And that's how we know, because he destroyed himself with his own arrogant actions, because he never truly deserved to be in the place that he was in. He was elevated over identity politics. He was elevated for things that they wanted to usher into America, and he was extremely detrimental to the United States of America. We still today are feeling the effects of the Obama cancer that was placed upon this country. We absolutely are still feeling it. And you know, it was never like something phony and fake is never going to last for the long term. And that's why Obama's rise, the only thing that is kind of more amazing than his rise is his fall. And that's because he never truly deserved to be there. You know, everybody goes through peaks and valleys, and everybody goes through trials and tribulations no matter what. But if you worked to truly get to where you were, you will be able to overcome the obstacles that are created. So like Tom Cruise is a great example. When you go back to the 80s and the 90s, Tom Cruise is the biggest star in the world. Untouchable. He was absolutely untouchable in the 80s and the 90s. But if you go back to the whole Oprah couch scene, Scientology kind of era of Tom Cruise, the media was absolutely going after him and crushing him and doing everything they can to tear him down. Now, I think Tom Cruise is a little nutty. I do. But that's how you get this psychopathic action star. But Tom Cruise always deserved to be in that position. So even with the obstacles, what happened? He overcame it. And he's now back to being in top form at his age now. It's insane. He overcame all of that. And if you actually go back to his infamous interview with Matt Lauer over psychiatry that really got him a lot of negative press back then, go back and watch it and tell me you disagree with Tom Cruise, because I certainly don't. Go back and tell me you disagree with what Tom Cruise said in that interview. That interview destroyed him for a short period of time. I don't disagree with what he said in that interview at all. Not at all. So, but Barack Obama was always a fraud, and he got exposed. And now Donald Trump is here, and he's not going anywhere. And he has taken Obama's legacy, and he has absolutely destroyed it. And I, for one, am very thankful for that. So there we go. Philip Butler says, black men got to vote in 1870, black women in 1920. Long and distinguished as fact. Little Jim's Ringo Halo says, women accused men of SA arrested and thrown in for life in prison. A man accused a woman of SA not believing and chastised to grow up. Chris Gonzalez says, 1 million American dollars tax-free to consume a Zima. Would you do it? Well, no, I can't. That's just who I am. So, McCox says, okay, then you're... Good Lord, McCock. What the hell is wrong with you? Little Jim's Ringo Halo says, no Kings protest on July 4th and 16th. Tactical Dish Soap says, 2 men breaking up is always rough. Operation One becomes a new member. Thank you. The Master Marvel says, the birth of TDS was all of these idiots being wrong about Trump winning. That's a very good point. Braxton says, Jeremy from the Quartering just announced he's losing views and will be reducing ad reads to 1 per day. Say what now? Jeremy from the Quartering just announced he's losing views and will be reducing ad reads to 1 per day. I mean, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their channel. Like I said, I like Jeremy from the Quartering. I don't watch his content at all anymore. I used to watch his content all the time, but yeah, his content was unwatchable because it was literally 80% ads and maybe 20% of him talking about something that he really doesn't know a whole lot about. So, Jason Platten says, I was asking myself, why the F does Jeremy keep talking about Netflix and Yahoo? Then it hit me, lol. Please don't change. Yeah, some people were very confused on the Netflix Yahoo bit. But yeah, I was having fun with that one. So Dan says reduce to, hang on, where did it go? That comment. Dan says reduce to 1 per day. Yeah. I don't know. So what does he mean he's going to reduce to 1 per day? Like, is it like 1 ad read in 1 video? I don't know. I don't understand it. But either way, Jeremy is far more successful at YouTube than me. So who gives a shit what I'm saying? He clearly knows what he's doing. So, but Quartering's always been good to me. He's always been good to me. He's always been nice to me. And as I've said, anytime I've ever needed anything, Quartering has always had my back. And I think that he's helped out a significant amount of fellow YouTubers as well. That probably a lot of people don't even know about. Quartering actually does go to bat for a lot of people. And that's something I don't think he gets enough credit for. Quartering gets a lot of hate, which anybody with his type of following would. But regardless of how you feel about his content, he's genuinely like a good dude. He is a good dude. He's a legit dude. So I'll always have his back. Victor says, I know more about Jeremy's coffee than I should. Doesn't everyone? That's pretty crazy. SDI Champion says 5.1 earthquake in Iran bunker buster from 47. Well, I think we confirmed what it was. So what it was, oh, hang on. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, the super chat said this earlier. No Kings 2.0 national protest July 4th, 2025. Independence Day without tyranny. This is the 4th of July. We're reclaiming America's promise. Freedom for all, justice for all, no kings. What started as a local protest is now a nationwide movement. This isn't about left versus right. This is about people versus power, unchecked. No more leaders above the law. No more silence when rights are stripped away. No more fear, manipulation. Oh my God. They're seriously like, all you're going to do is give me another chance to make a lot of money and live stream it. That's all you're going to do. So I appreciate it because I will 100% be live streaming this. I will 100% grift off this. Absolutely. Give me another 10,000 live viewers. Yeah, where were they at in 2020? Exactly. Where were these clowns out in 2020? God, man. We're not backing down. We are not celebrating freedom while people are still in cages. We are not pledging allegiance to leaders who want to rule. We are not staying quiet when justice is on the line. Who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages, Joe? Everybody remember that one? Let me see if I can find that clip. Who built the cages, Joe? I hope I can find that. Let's see. Who built the cages, Joe? Is this it?
President Trump, thank you. Quick response, Vice President Biden.
2 jobs, 1 job, be below poverty. People are making $6, $7, $8 an hour. These first responders, we all clap for as they come down the street because they've allowed us to make it. What's happening? They deserve a minimum wage of $15. Anything below that puts you below the poverty level. And there is no evidence that when you raise the minimum wage, businesses go out of business. That is simply not true.
We're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about immigration now, gentlemen, and we're going to talk about families within this context. Mr. President, your administration separated children from their parents at the border, at least 4,000 kids. You've since reversed your zero tolerance policy, but the United States can't locate the parents of more than 500 children. So how will these families ever be reunited?
Children are brought here by coyotes and lots of bad people, cartels, and they're brought here, and they used to use them to get into our country. We now have as strong a border as we've ever had. We're over 400 miles of brand new wall. You see the numbers, and we let people in, but they have to come in legally, and they come in through
But
merit.
how will you reunite these kids with their families?
Let me just tell you,
Mr.
they built cages. You know, they used to say, I built the cages. And then they had a picture in a certain newspaper. There was a picture of these horrible cages. And they said, look at these cages. President Trump built them. And then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
Do you have a plan to reunite the kids?
Yes, we're working on it we're trying very hard. But a lot of these kids come out without the parents. They come over through cartels and through coyotes and through gangs.
Vice President Biden, let me bring you into this conversation. Quick response and then another question to you.
These 500 plus kids came with parents. They separated them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. Real tough. We're really strong. And guess what? They cannot, it's not coyotes didn't bring them over. Their parents were with them. They got separated from their parents. And it makes us a laughing stock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
Let me ask you a follow-up
Kristen,
question.
they did it. We changed the policy.
I'm laughing at it because I remember when the coyote memes were happening. Like people were just going crazy over his coyote comments because they didn't. The way Trump says coyote is so funny, and people didn't know what it meant.
Your response
They
to
did
that?
it. We changed.
did not.
They built the
separate
cages.
They,
who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
Who
we're
built the
talking about.
cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about what we're talking about. What happened?
Who built the cages, Joe?
Parents were ripped. Their kids were ripped from their arms and separated. And now they cannot find over 500 sets of those parents, and those kids are alone. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Let me ask
Kristen,
you
I
about
will say this.
immigration.
They went
10
down. We
seconds and then
brought
I need to ask
reporters,
you.
everything. They are so well taken care of. They're in facilities that were so clean.
But some
and
of
have
them
gotten
haven't been
such
reunited.
But
Man, there's never going to be anybody that makes politics as interesting as Trump. But I will say the reaction to JD Vance on Blue Sky kind of makes it kind of makes it sound like J.D. Vance could follow in Trump's footsteps. Just in, Israel plans to take out, the Iranian nuclear facility themselves if Trump decides to stay out. So there you go. So Israel plans to take out these Iranian nuclear facilities if Trump stays out. So there you go. Interesting. So I thought you needed Trump's help. So I guess this means that you can take care of your own problems. And I am 100% okay with that. Take care of your own problems. That's the way to do it. Not our problem. Never was our problem. Let me see here. Okay, I've got that one. See if we're caught up here. Heartbreak Zero says, funny that those were whining. Those are who were whining about no kings were calling for Hussein Obama to be king back in 2012. Hail, beautiful figs of the 199. Very true. Andrew CR says, I couldn't enter the U.S. through the border because I'm too big to ride a coyote. I love when Trump says stuff like that. The way he says it is just so damn funny. And we're almost at the end of today's show. If more breaks out, I will be live again today. So I just wanted to kind of update everyone on the goings on. But right now, we're just kind of in a holding pattern to see what President Trump ultimately decides. So we'll see. We'll see what he ultimately decides. And I still continue to trust President Trump. As I put out on Twitter, there was a poll by Election Wizard. And he says, do you trust President Trump to make the right decision regarding Iran? 85% say yes to only 15% saying no. I am in the 85% that I absolutely trust President Trump to make the right decision. I am not going to be overreacting to every piece of little bit of news that comes out. I'm going to be patient and let this man work his magic because he's been doing it for a long time. And I don't doubt him. And I'm not going to doubt him at this point in time. He's shown me no reason to doubt him. So President Trump has a big, big task on his shoulders right now. And I would say if you're worried, pray for President Trump and hope that he makes the best decision possible. It's not an easy decision. A lot of people are chalking this up to being something simple that he could do, but it's a very complicated situation with a lot of different world leaders involved and a lot of different optics. And there's a reaction to his reaction involved to it, no matter what he decides to do. And these are all the things that he has to weigh before he ultimately decides what direction he's going to take us in. But I don't want boots on the ground in Iran or Israel for the war. I don't want boots on the ground. That's what I don't want at all. So thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Pray for our great president. Star Wars and Stripes for a 1999 says happy Friday, Fig 199, hashtag 47. Thank you, Star Wars and Stripes. Great way to end it. So you guys have a good evening and have a good weekend. I'll see you at some point this weekend. I'll see you probably. Could see you later on tonight. We'll see. But go check out Nerdrotic's channel, Friday Night Tights. Don't forget Dan Vask and Eric July have a new music video out. Mods can link to that. We also have the Uncle IDOT merch that the mods are dropping in the chat. So make sure you check that out. And thank you for supporting us at Geeks and Gamers in the 199. Have a great day. And we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.